What's up everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Now today's video is for those of you out there who love coffee and are passionate about the quality of the coffee that you drink. Now if you love coffee, you've probably heard that manual pour over is one of the best ways to brew an incredible cup of coffee. And honestly, they're not wrong. A properly made pour over can bring out flavors and aromas that many traditional drip coffee makers simply can't match. Now the downside, it does take a lot more time. It also takes practice, and unless you're incredibly consistent, every cup can taste a little bit different. So, what if you could automate that entire process without sacrificing the overall quality? Well, that is exactly what COSORI is trying to do with their brand new Juni automated pour-over coffee machine. Now, I've been using it daily for the last couple of weeks, trying different beans, experimenting with various brewing modes, and just overall comparing it to both my regular drip coffee maker and my manual pour-over setup. So in today's video, I'm going to share my thoughts so you can decide if this machine is actually worth its premium price and if it's something that you'll want to purchase. We'll talk about who it's designed for and whether it can really deliver a specialty coffee with the push of a single button. So let's get started. Now, before we dive in, I do want to thank COSORI for sending over this Juni for me to review. Now, as always, receiving a product never does guarantee a positive review. Everything that you'll hear in today's video is based on my own experience using this machine over the last couple of weeks. And then, if you do decide you want to pick one of these up after watching this video, I'll have my affiliate link down in the description section below. Now, using that link does help support this channel at no additional cost to you. And, of course, I would really appreciate the support. Now, let's get back to the video. So, if you're someone who hasn't heard about the pour-over method for coffee making, well, it's basically a manual brewing method where hot water is slowly poured evenly over coffee grounds in a filter. Now, to you, that just might seem like your average daily coffee making, but it is a little bit more involved and a lot more precise. Instead, it's about gravity pulling the water downward, extracting the coffee's flavor as it drips into a mug or carafe as you pour the hot water evenly across the coffee grounds. Now, this process offers high control over taste, over strength, and it highlights a coffee's distinct characteristics. It generally does take a lot more time and attention to brew an amazing cup of coffee versus your traditional method of just setting it and forgetting it. Now let's quickly talk about COSORI the brand. Now most people probably know COSORI for their air fryers, for their kettles, and their other kitchen appliances. Over the years, they've built a huge reputation for making products that are easy to use while still packing in plenty of thoughtful features. This Juni is their first entry into the specialty coffee world, and rather than building another standard drip coffee maker, they decided to tackle something much more ambitious. Their goal was pretty simple. Create a machine that reproduces the precision of manual pour over while removing a lot in most of the work. Now that's a pretty bold claim. So in this video, we'll talk about how close they actually got to that. Now before we begin looking into and talking about the features of this amazing coffee maker, let's talk about pricing, because this definitely does sit in the premium category. And then once it's launched, the price for this glass carafe model will be set at around $300. So as an early bird, you are getting this at a discounted price. Now I do believe there will also be an insulated stainless steel version which comes in at around $350. And then if you decide to buy this one and then you want to purchase the stainless steel carafe separately later, that will be an additional $70. So overall, no, this isn't competing with your standard everyday $60 coffee maker. But then again, it is also cheaper and more affordable than most professional coffee brewing systems. It's definitely aimed at coffee enthusiasts who already appreciate specialty coffee and they just want a better consistency with less effort. Now, getting back to the review of the product itself, the first thing that impressed me was the overall build quality of this device. The Juni has a clean, modern design that actually looks great sitting on top of the countertop. Nothing on this device feels cheap. This removable water tank is easy to fill, the controls are simple, And then I do like that you can brew directly into either the included carafe or just your favorite coffee mug, because it does have an adjustable stand on the bottom. Now, what's also nice is that it comes with a cone basket, which is designed for 1 or 2 cups, while this flat bottom basket works better for large batches and if you're pouring into the carafe itself. Having both of these gives you more flexibility depending on how much coffee you're actually making, whether it's for a single cup for you or for your entire family. Now, when it comes to setup and unboxing, that definitely only took a few minutes. All you have to do is fill this little water reservoir, install a filter, grind your beans, which you can either buy pre-ground or you can do it yourself if you do have a coffee grinder like we do, and then add the coffee grounds into the system itself. And then basically you're ready to brew. Now at this point in the video, you might be asking, how does this make it different from any other coffee maker? Well, here's where things start to get interesting. Unlike a traditional drip coffee maker that simply sprays water over the grounds, this Juni actually tries to mimic how a person performs a manual pour over. It does that by using what COSORI calls a spiral motion extraction. The brew nozzle moves back and forth while the brew basket slowly rotates underneath it, and that's something that we'll talk about and show you in the rest of this video. That combination distributes water more evenly across the coffee bed, and it helps to reduce channeling, which is when water finds the easiest path through the grounds instead of extracting everything evenly. I gotta say, while it was actually brewing the coffee, that's where it was honestly fascinating just to sit there and watch it work. Now, if you've ever made a cup of coffee using a V60 or a Chemex or any other kind of coffee maker, you'll immediately recognize this pouring pattern. It's one of those features that isn't just marketing. It actually serves a purpose for making a good cup of coffee. Now, another thing that I appreciated is the temperature control for this system. Water temperature has a huge impact on coffee flavor. Too hot, and you can over-extract your coffee. Too cool, and it tastes weak or sour. This Juni maintains precise brewing temperatures throughout the brew cycle, adjusting the temperature range based on the roast level that you're brewing at. In addition to that, it also carries Specialty Coffee Association certification, which means it meets recognized standards for brew temperature, water distribution, and extraction quality. Now, of course, no machine can magically fix stale coffee beans, and the quality of the beans and the grounds that you're using does make a difference. Fresh beans and a good burr grinder still make a huge difference, but the machine itself gives you an excellent foundation for consistently good coffee. Now, of course, that does mean that you can't just go to a grocery store and just buy a cheap bag of coffee and expect it to taste amazing. This is only 50% of the work. The coffee beans still make a huge difference. Now, another thing that I do appreciate about this machine is that you don't need your phone to use this machine. You do have an app, but it is not required to actually operate this thing. Everything can actually be done from the front control panel that's built onto the machine itself, and it is very responsive. Using the incredibly responsive touchscreen on the coffee maker itself, you can choose the roast level, you can select your coffee strength, and you can even pick your cup size. The display even tells you exactly how much coffee to add using the included measuring scoop. Now, if you do decide you want to connect it to the VSync app, you can unlock several additional brewing modes. There's the quick brew mode for everyday coffee. There's the barista mode if you want to customize nearly every brewing parameter. And then you can even set up a scheduled brew so your coffee is ready when you wake up. And then there's even an AI generation portion, which suggests a brewing recipe based on your coffee beans and your preferences. Now personally, the feature that I found myself using the most was simply the quick brew option. It was fast, it was consistent, and it produced an excellent cup of coffee every single morning. Now, that being said, barista mode was definitely fun when I wanted to experiment with different types of coffee, and the AI feature was definitely interesting, but I honestly think it's more of a nice bonus than the reason to buy this machine. And then in the end, the real value, of course, is the precision brewing hardware that you get when you buy this coffee maker. Overall, after using this Juni for the past couple of weeks, one word keeps coming to mind, and that was consistency. Now that's what impressed me the most. Every single cup that I tasted was nearly identical when I used the same beans and recipe. With manual pour over, that's surprisingly difficult. And then if you think about it, even experienced coffee enthusiasts pour a little bit differently every single time. Sometimes you're tired, sometimes you're rushing, sometimes your pouring speed changes. The Juni removes almost all of those variables. For light roasts, I noticed bright acidity with plenty of clarity. And then my favorite when it comes to medium roast, chocolate, caramel, nutty flavors, everything felt balanced and smooth. Now, when it comes to dark roast, which is something that my wife loves, they were rich without becoming overly bitter thanks to the machine's temperature adjustments. And I also appreciated not having to stand over the counter holding a gooseneck kettle every single morning and just pouring over the coffee grounds. It took that work right away. I could start the brew and make breakfast while the Juni handled all of that. And then, best of all, the cleaning. Cleaning turned out to be surprisingly easy. All you have to do is remove the paper filter, dump the grounds, rinse the brew basket, rinse the carafe if you need to, and you're done. Everything is cleaned up super easy and super fast. And then another feature that I love is this removable water reservoir, which also makes refilling this and the occasional cleaning super simple. And then because you are using paper filters, which this machine does come with 2 different sizes of paper filters initially for you to start with, cleanup is actually easier than many reusable basket coffee makers. Okay, so let's talk about some of the pros and some of the cons that I discovered while using this coffee maker. After spending time with this Juni coffee maker, here are the things that I like the most. First, excellent coffee quality, not to mention its outstanding consistency. Second is the beautiful premium design of the coffee maker itself. Third, this is very beginner friendly. Fourth, you've got tons of customization if you want it. And then fifth, it's got useful smart features without forcing you to use them. And then probably my favorite is that it captures much of our experience of manual pour over while saving you time every single morning. Now, when it comes to con, and of course, nothing is perfect. I'd say the biggest downside of this coffee maker is the price. At MSRP, $300 is a significant investment. But then again, if you are getting in as an early bird, purchasing this at the discounted price, I'd say this is definitely worth the money if you are enthusiastic about your coffee. Now, if you're perfectly happy with a basic drip coffee maker, this is probably more machine than you need. But everyone in their life, at some point, if you're a coffee drinker, wants a good cup of coffee, and this provides a good, consistent cup of coffee every single day. And then when you're also using this machine, you'll also have to remember that you'll get the best results when you're using freshly roasted beans and a quality burr grinder. And then finally, while the AI recipe generation is a cool feature, I don't think it's necessarily a standout feature. The precision brewing system is what really makes this machine special. And then aside from that, I don't really have any other complaints about the machine except for maybe how long it would last. But then again, that's something that we'll have to test out as we continue to use this over the next few years. So at the end of the day, would I recommend this COSORI Juni pour over coffee maker? In this case, I'd have to say yes, with one important caveat. This isn't a coffee maker for everyone, of course. If you're simply looking for the cheapest way to make a cup of coffee in the morning, there are definitely plenty of less expensive options. But if you're someone who enjoys specialty coffee and you want consistently excellent pour over without the manual effort, or you're someone who's always wanted to get into pour over brewing without the learning curve, I think this Juni is really a compelling option. Now the nice thing is that COSORI didn't try to reinvent coffee. They simply built a machine that reproduces many of the techniques that people already use to make a great pour over coffee. And in this case, they did a really nice job doing it. For me, the biggest takeaway isn't the AI, it's the consistency that this machine produces. Every cup tastes like the one before it. And honestly, that's something even experienced manual brewers sometimes struggle to achieve. After using this device every day, I'd give this COSORI Juni a solid 9 out of 10, leaning more towards the 10. It's well built, it's thoughtfully designed, it makes a genuinely great cup of coffee, and I think it's one of the most interesting coffee machines that I've reviewed in quite a while, if ever. Now, if you're interested in checking out this COSORI Juni, I'll have my affiliate link down in the description section below. If you've got any questions about the machine that I didn't cover, let me know down in the comments, and I'll do my best to answer them. If you enjoyed this review, don't forget to give the video a thumbs up, subscribe, and if you're new, ring that bell icon to get notifications when I post new videos in the future. Again, I want to thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.